Good evening. My name is Marcus. Tonight, I'll guide you through a quiet journey into the unknown, a place where mystery meets the sea. Let your breath soften. Let your thoughts fade. Allow your imagination to drift beyond the edge of sleep. But don't worry about where it ends. You are simply here to float, to rest, to dream. Let the story carry you, like a quiet current, toward rest. So, close your eyes and listen. Our journey begins now. From the notes of an old sailor. He was one of those who knew the sea like the back of his hand, and had lived his life among waves and storms. On that voyage, we were sailing from Havana to Charleston aboard a small cargo ship when a deep, impenetrable darkness fell over the ocean. There was no thunder, no rain, just a night blacker than the darkest moonless void. Suddenly, a massive wall of water appeared ahead. But it didn't crash, didn't recede. It was like a frozen wave. The ship entered this shroud, and that's when something strange began. The compasses spun wildly. The stars vanished from the sky, and the crew suddenly felt as if something was pulling them downward. We didn't know how long it lasted. A minute, an hour, an eternity. The water was completely calm. No stars above. Only a flat, endless surface beneath us. Far away, across the vast Atlantic, where the ocean meets the horizon, lies the mysterious Bermuda Triangle. A place surrounded by an aura of mystique and fear. It has become one of humanity's greatest unsolved enigmas. They say ships have vanished into its waves, as if swallowed by the sea itself. Planes, obeying some unknown force, disappeared from radar without sending a single distress signal. Even when wreckage was found, it often showed no signs of damage, as if the crews had simply dissolved into thin air. Where is this mysterious triangle located? Its borders are approximate, but it's generally believed to encompass the area between the southern coast of Florida, the Bermuda Islands, and Puerto Rico. This vast expanse of ocean, covering over 1.3 million square kilometers, is believed to have swallowed hundreds, possibly thousands, of ships, airplanes, and people. The first written mention of this place is linked to none other than Christopher Columbus. In 1492, during his journey to the New World, he recorded something strange in his ship's logbook. His crew witnessed flickering lights gliding smoothly across the surface of the water, and the compass began to behave erratically. the earliest signs of trouble ever recorded in history. Since then, the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle have only multiplied. What makes this part of the ocean so mysterious? Is it natural anomalies? Methane eruptions from the seafloor? Magnetic storms? Or something beyond human understanding? In the centuries that followed, this part of the Atlantic continued to surprise with bizarre occurrences. Sailors spoke of sudden storms, ghost ships, and glowing orbs rising from the ocean floor. By the 20th century, reports of mass disappearances began to pile up. A large Navy collier carrying over 300 people vanished from the seas in 1918 while on a voyage from Brazil to Baltimore. No distress signals were ever received, and the ship's wreckage was never found, leading to numerous theories about the cause of its disappearance, including potential structural issues, mutiny, or even a natural disaster. A group of 5 U.S. Navy planes, known as Flight 19, disappeared during a training flight over the Bermuda Triangle in 1945. The pilots reported compass failures and navigational issues before communication was lost, leading to speculation about the role of the Bermuda Triangle's unusual weather conditions or potential pilot error. The planes were never found. In 1948, the airliner Star Tiger disappeared with 31 people aboard. In 1949, another plane from the same airline, Star Aerial, also vanished. In 1950, the American freighter Sandra was lost. In 1963, the tanker Marine Sulphur Queen sank unexpectedly without a single distress signal. In 1971, an entire squadron of the Puerto Rican Air Force disappeared. The planes were never found. The anomalies affected not just ships and planes. Many radio operators in the region reported interference, signal loss, and strange sounds on the air. Navigation instruments showed chaotic data or shut down altogether. In 1964, journalist Vincent Gaddis coined the term Bermuda Triangle in an article and later a book which presented the triangle as a zone of mysterious forces, possibly aliens, portals to other dimensions, or swirling energy vortices. Later, investigations showed many of the reported facts had been exaggerated. Some of the vanished ships were later found elsewhere, and some planes crashed due to known causes. But such mundane explanations didn't make it into the best-selling books. Still, even if some of the stories were overblown, hundreds of cases remain unexplained. Today, the Bermuda Triangle is more than a geographic location. It's a legend. It captures the imagination of travelers, researchers, and romantics alike. What really hides behind these mysteries? Let's try to understand. For many years, scientists have studied the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, trying to find rational explanations for the strange disappearances of ships and aircraft. Among the most popular scientific hypotheses, three main ideas stand out: methane gas emissions from the ocean floor, magnetic anomalies, the influence of powerful ocean currents. Each of these theories is grounded in real science and can explain some of the phenomena observed in the region. One of the most compelling theories involves methane deposits hidden beneath the ocean floor. Research shows that several kilometers beneath the Atlantic lie vast accumulations of gas hydrates, crystalline compounds of methane and water. Under certain conditions, such as underwater earthquakes or temperature changes, these hydrates can suddenly decompose, releasing massive amounts of gas. If a ship is above such a release, the water can become so saturated with gas that it loses density, and the vessel simply sinks straight down without resistance, leaving no trace. This effect has been demonstrated in controlled experiments. Small-scale ship models indeed sink in gas-saturated water. It's possible that sudden methane eruptions have caused multiple ship disappearances in the triangle. Methane gas can also affect aircraft. If a large bubble of methane reaches the atmosphere, it can create a zone with thin air, where engines may fail due to lack of oxygen. Methane is also highly flammable. If it contacts an engine, spark, or turbine, an explosion could occur. Another mystery tied to the Bermuda Triangle involves navigation. Sailors and pilots have long reported strange malfunctions in compasses. The needles may spin wildly or point in completely incorrect directions. What causes such anomalies? Scientists have discovered that the Bermuda Triangle lies within a magnetic anomaly zone, where Earth's geomagnetic field differs from the global average. Some researchers suggest that this may be one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north temporarily align, which can confuse navigational instruments, especially in earlier times when compasses were the primary means of orientation. Additionally, the Earth's crust in this area may contain large iron ore deposits, which can distort local magnetic fields. Sudden shifts in the magnetic background may disorient captains, and under conditions of storm or poor visibility, this confusion could lead to disaster. The Bermuda Triangle also lies in the path of one of the most powerful ocean currents, the Gulf Stream. This underwater river carries vast amounts of warm water from the Caribbean into the Atlantic, at speeds of up to 9 kilometers per hour. The Gulf Stream not only creates strong currents, but also triggers sharp weather changes, Sudden storms, whirlpools, and even water tornadoes may be caused by its effects. These powerful currents can explain why wreckage is rarely found. It's simply swept far away from the site of the incident. In some cases, whirlpools might drag small vessels underwater, leaving behind almost no trace. Modern science continues to search for explanations to the Bermuda Triangle mystery, but alternative theories remain just as captivating. Some believe this area may contain portals to other dimensions, or that advanced Atlantean technology lies dormant under the sea, still influencing the world above. Others suggest the anomalies are caused by the presence of extraterrestrials. One of the most famous hypotheses is the wormhole theory, the idea that certain tunnels may connect not just different locations in space, but also in time. These are based on Einstein's equations. If space-time is like a sheet of paper, a wormhole would be a shortcut that folds that sheet, allowing instant passage from one point to another. Supporters of this theory believe that in the Bermuda Triangle, the usual laws of physics are somehow distorted. Many pilots and sailors have described seeing strange clouds, tunnel-like formations, and unnatural bursts of light. One notable case involves a pilot who claimed to have flown through a cloud tunnel. His aircraft's journey was shortened by 30 minutes, and he disappeared from radar during that time. Other pilots have reported similar experiences. Magnetic anomalies in the region lend further support to the idea that temporary distortions in space or time may spontaneously appear. Another theory is tied to secret military experiments. The most famous example is the alleged Philadelphia experiment of 1943, where the U.S. Navy supposedly tried to make a ship invisible using a powerful electromagnetic field. According to the legend, the experiment went wrong. The ship disappeared, then reappeared at a different port, and the crew suffered horrifying consequences. Some believe such experiments may have permanently damaged the fabric of space-time in the Atlantic region, creating unstable zones within the Bermuda Triangle. Others propose the existence of underwater alien bases. This theory is supported by numerous UFO sightings in the area. In 1963, during a military exercise, the crew of an American submarine detected an object traveling at over 250 knots, nearly 500 kilometers per hour, at depths exceeding 600 meters, a speed impossible for any known underwater craft. In 1997, Cuban fishermen observed a large glowing object rise from the water, hover in the air, and then vanish at lightning speed. In 2009, NASA satellites detected anomalous signals coming from the ocean floor within the triangle. Some ufologists believe there may be ancient alien bases under the sea, and that the disruptions in navigation are caused by their technology. Perhaps ships and planes are simply being caught in force fields, or transported to other dimensions. One of the most debated pieces of evidence supporting the Atlantis theory is the Bimini Road. In 1968, off the coast of the Bahamas, divers discovered a mysterious underwater structure. Large stone blocks were found arranged in a near-perfect straight line along the ocean floor. Some scientists argue this is a natural rock formation, but the symmetry and scale of the layout suggests to others that it might be man-made. Supporters of the Atlantis theory believe this is a remnant of a sunken metropolis, lost to the sea thousands of years ago. They claim the Bimini Road once connected parts of a vast island city, possibly Atlantis itself. According to their estimates, the stones stretch for nearly 4 kilometers in length. Their alignment and the precision of their placement hint at intelligent design. Plato wrote that Atlantis was a civilization of immense technological power, harnessing the energy of crystals. Believers say these crystals could generate powerful electromagnetic fields, and that these energies might still be active, hidden deep beneath the waves. In 2001, researchers off the coast of Cuba found a submerged structure at a depth of 600 meters, resembling pyramids and buildings. Occasionally, divers in the Bermuda Triangle report encountering strange objects of unknown origin. Some theorists suggest these underwater pyramids may serve as energy generators, possibly disrupting navigation systems, creating anomalies, or even altering local space-time. If Atlantean technology truly existed, perhaps remnants of it still influence the region today. Could these forces, ancient and powerful, be behind the disappearances? Could they explain the aircraft that vanish without a signal, the intact ships found eerily abandoned? Perhaps they are not just legends, but the final echoes of a forgotten civilization. They may have left behind something that still affects this region, something that explains why ships and planes continue to vanish. In many of these mysterious disappearances, patterns emerge, instantaneous disappearances. Ships and aircraft simply vanish from radar without sending any distress signals. Derelict vessels. Ships are found completely intact, but entirely abandoned, with no sign of their crews. Reports of strange lights and air vortices. Many pilots have claimed to see unusual phenomena just before losing contact or disappearing altogether. These recurring elements, sudden silence, missing people, unexplained lights, suggest that some common, yet elusive force may be at work, a kind of signature left behind by the triangle itself. The phenomenon of strange disappearances often includes flashes of light and aerial vortices. Many pilots have reported witnessing unusual events just moments before disappearing. These could be explained by portals, electromagnetic fields, or unknown forces. But none of the theories fully explain everything. Wormholes, underwater bases, or Atlantean technologies, all of these excite the imagination, but lack solid scientific proof. And yet, the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle continue to draw researchers. Every new disappearance only deepens the intrigue. Still, perhaps the answer lies not in mysticism, but in real natural phenomena that we are only beginning to understand. Although theories involving aliens, portals, and ancient civilizations are thrilling, scientists attempt to explain these occurrences through observable causes. There are also far more down-to-earth explanations. The most ordinary causes of these tragedies: extreme weather, human error, technical malfunctions. Let's briefly look at each. The Bermuda Triangle lies in a region prone to tropical cyclones and hurricanes, which can develop rapidly and destroy even large vessels. Rogue waves, some as high as 30 meters, have been recorded in the Atlantic. These freak waves can appear suddenly and instantly sink even massive ships. Computer models show that when two hurricanes interact, they can create superstorms so violent that no ship could survive them. Thunderstorms and electromagnetic disturbances may disable navigational instruments. Examples include: in 1918, the USS Cyclops, a large coal carrier, vanished during a storm. In 2015, the cargo ship El Faro, with 33 people aboard, disappeared during Hurricane Joaquin. Wreckage was found a month later. Then there's the human factor: navigational mistakes, panic, and poor decision-making. Many pilots and crews were not prepared for such conditions. Disorientation is common at sea. In darkness or fog, when the horizon vanishes, it's easy to misread instruments or fly the wrong way. In 1945, the pilots of Flight 19 became disoriented, believing they were flying toward Florida, but were actually heading into open ocean. Voice recordings show the flight leader distrusted his instruments and became confused. The Star Tiger, which disappeared in 1948, was an old aircraft with a faulty navigation system. In strong winds, the pilots could have easily lost control. The Marine Sulphur Queen, lost in 1963, was transporting sulphur, a cargo considered hazardous due to its corrosive effects on the ship's structure. Aircraft encountering difficult conditions in the triangle could also disappear. Back then, crews lacked modern navigation systems and communication tools, which increased the number of disasters. But the fact remains, the percentage of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is not higher than in other oceanic regions. Strange occurrences, ships and planes disappearing, navigational failures, flashes of light, and unexplained sounds happen all over the world. Some blame it on weather, others on mysterious forces. Off the coast of Japan lies a mysterious region known as the Devil's Sea, or the Dragon's Triangle. The waters there are notoriously turbulent. Ships disappear as if swallowed by the ocean itself. In the 13th century, a fleet of ships under Mongol ruler Kublai Khan set sail to invade Japan. It never reached its destination. According to legend, the sea consumed the entire fleet. In that same region, much later, a research vessel, Kaiomaru No. 5, also vanished. It had 31 people on board. None returned. Fishermen tell stories of bright flashes, ghostly ships, and sudden whirlpools forming on otherwise calm seas. Some scientists believe the cause could be underwater volcanic activity, eruptions that release massive methane gas bubbles capable of pulling ships down into the depths instantly. But what if the answer lies in something even greater? On the other side of the world, in the harsh expanse of Alaska, there lies another triangle, a region locals call cursed. Thousands of people have vanished there without a trace. Starting from ancient times, hunters went into the wilderness in search of game and never came back. A military aircraft carrying 4 people disappeared in this region. No distress call was made. No debris was ever found. In 1972, a private plane carrying U.S. Senator Hale Boggs went missing over the Alaskan Triangle. Despite weeks of searching with a large-scale rescue effort, not a single piece of the plane or its passengers was ever discovered. Locals speak of magnetic whirlwinds that throw planes off course. Travelers describe strange mirages on the horizon. Some believe that something ancient and hidden lurks in the endless snow-covered forests. On the far edge of the world, stands a deserted Inuit village near the shores of Lake Angikuni in northern Canada. In 1930, a trapper named Joe LaBelle arrived in the settlement and was struck with horror. Every home was completely empty. Inside, warm clothing still hung on hooks. Cooked food sat untouched on the tables. Weapons and tools were in their proper places, but not a single person remained. Several kilometers from the village, he found sled dogs, still tied up. They had all died of starvation, never released by their masters. There were no signs of violence, no struggle, no bodies. According to Inuit legend, the people may have fallen victim to spirits of the forest, ancient beings that steal humans away without warning. Deep within the forests lies yet another anomalous zone, the so-called Siberian Triangle, shrouded in dense taiga, icy lakes, and mysterious forces that disrupt instruments and distort direction. In 1963, a plane disappeared from radar. It was later found hundreds of kilometers from the location where it was presumed to have crashed. How it ended up so far off course remains a mystery. In 2001, a private plane simply vanished in the sky, leaving behind no trace at all. Some speculate about magnetic storms, but can such phenomena really move an entire aircraft such a distance? Farther south, in the South China Sea, lies Vangu Basin, another region known for the disappearance of cargo ships in broad daylight, as though they slipped into another dimension. In 2003, military sources recorded strange radio signals rising from the depths, but the source of these transmissions could not be identified. Fishermen have reported bright underwater flashes, sudden storms, and entire crews going missing. And beyond that, between the Philippines and Indonesia, stretches another fearsome zone, the Devil's Sea. Here, ships suddenly lose all navigational control. Lights appear and dive beneath the surface. In 1983, a Japanese cargo vessel reported a strange flash in the sky and was never heard from again. In 1995, searchers encountered a ghost ship drifting quietly, without a single soul aboard. Had the crew been taken by the storm, or something even more terrifying? In all of these places, a chilling mystery seems to echo: magnetic anomalies, wild weather, natural disasters. They all offer some logical explanation. But do they really explain everything? Perhaps our world still holds secrets beyond our grasp, truths hiding in plain sight, cloaked in myth and silence. People love to believe in the mystical because it gives us a sense of wonder, something beyond the ordinary. Mysterious stories ignite our imagination. They stir emotion. They make the world feel less predictable and therefore more exciting. Since ancient times, humanity has tried to explain the unexplainable through legends and myth. When we lacked science, we turned to the supernatural. Thunder was the wrath of gods. Illness was a curse. Shipwrecks were blamed on sea demons. Even in our modern world, full of data and technology, people still seek mystical answers for what they cannot understand. This is a psychological trait, wired deep in our brains. We prefer to see patterns, to find meaning in chaos. If someone hears a strange sound at night, their primal instinct tells them it might be danger, even if it's only the wind. We look for mystery where perhaps there is none. Mysticism also offers comfort. When tragedies or unexplained events occur, rational answers often feel cold or inadequate. It can be far more soothing and more entertaining to believe in secret forces than to accept that life is full of coincidences and human error. History is filled with examples of once feared mysteries that turned out to be misunderstandings. In 1897, in the American town of Aurora, people claimed a flying object had crashed and that an alien body was found. The site became a pilgrimage for UFO hunters. Years later, it was revealed that the story had been fabricated by a local newspaper editor, trying to attract attention to the town. For decades, people believed that ancient Egyptian mummies cursed anyone who disturbed their tombs. When King Tutankhamun's tomb was opened in 1922, a string of deaths followed. Rumors of an ancient curse spread worldwide, but modern science later confirmed that many deaths were caused by infections from toxic mold that had built up in the sealed tombs. Stories of UFOs, alien abductions, and mysterious sightings often turn out to be hoaxes, misinterpretations, or secret military technology. People love mysteries because they make life more thrilling. Legends, myths, and conspiracies are a natural way to express fear of the unknown. But almost always, if you dig deep enough, the mystical gives way to an earthlier truth. The Bermuda Triangle, once just a stretch of ocean, has become a cultural symbol. From the moment those first stories of eerie disappearances were told, it became a myth woven into the collective imagination. Books, films, documentaries, all built on the mystery. In 1964, a writer published an article titled "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle," compiling tales of ships and planes that vanished without a trace. Later, Charles Berlitz released his sensational book, Tying the Triangle to Atlantis and Extraterrestrials. The book sold millions and was translated into dozens of languages. By the 1970s and 1980s, films like The Bermuda Triangle and countless television documentaries pushed the story to even wider audiences. Soon, even tour companies were selling cruises through the triangle, promising travelers a taste of the unknown. Around this theme, a powerful media machine quickly formed. Journalists, writers, filmmakers, and even tour operators began to use the myth of the triangle to their advantage. In the very same region of the Caribbean, the tourism industry began to thrive, fueled by the triangle's ominous reputation, which attracted curious travelers from around the world. Major television channels didn't ignore the legend either. Networks like National Geographic, History Channel, and others produced dozens of documentaries. Even when they attempted to debunk the myth, they inadvertently kept the public's interest alive, feeding the mystery even further. Popular tabloids such as the National Enquirer and The Sun devoted decades to publishing sensational stories about strange disappearances, mysterious forces, and dramatic eyewitness accounts. So who profited from this the most? First and foremost, it was authors like Charles Berlitz who built fortunes on books that sold in the millions. His works became bestsellers and were translated into numerous languages. But perhaps the most notable financial gain came to those who began selling tourist excursions, following the trail of the Bermuda Triangle. Many companies offered, and still offer, special tours, boat rides, and even full cruises that promised to travel along the most mysterious route on the planet. In this way, the Bermuda Triangle became not just a mystery or part of pop culture, but a real gold mine. People love mysteries, and even when science offers clear and logical explanations, mysticism continues to sell better. What lies ahead for the Bermuda Triangle? Is it possible that the riddle, which has fascinated researchers and mystery lovers for decades, will someday disappear? Today, satellite monitoring and underwater drones explore the ocean depths with remarkable precision, tracking even the smallest changes. The majority of disappearances once attributed to supernatural forces are now explained by rapid storms, strong underwater currents, methane eruptions, human error. We already know that most ships once thought to have vanished in the Bermuda Triangle simply sank for entirely prosaic reasons. But the future holds even more promise. Perhaps one day, research missions will locate long-lost wrecks of ships and aircraft whose disappearances remain unsolved. And if the seafloor turns out to be littered with strange anomalies, or if we discover structures resembling the ruins of an ancient civilization, then perhaps the legend will live on, renewed with new intrigue. Modern technology will also allow us to study the magnetic and geophysical features of the region in detail. Magnetic disturbances that skew compass readings and create illusions of disorientation. Underwater volcanic activity, capable of releasing massive gas bubbles that sink ships instantly. With the help of artificial intelligence and data analysis, we'll be able to compare all recorded disappearances, identify patterns, and determine exactly what factors contributed to each case. It is quite possible that the Bermuda Triangle will one day no longer be a mystery. Once we've gathered enough information, its legend may dissolve like mist over the ocean. But then the question arises, will this corner of the Atlantic still be as alluring? Could it lose its mythical charm once every secret is explained? Most likely not, because the human imagination always finds ways to breathe life back into old legends. As long as our hearts beat for the unknown, there will always be triangles, not just on maps, but deep within our dreams